Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my monthly first impression video, and it's going to be on this product right here. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I have it in buff. I purchased this off the well.ca website, so hopefully this is actually the shade that fits me. I also have a discount code for you guys, and that is Mandy10 off. You'll get $10 off a $40 purchase, and I think it's only open to new customers, so well.ca ships within Canada and the United States, so it'll be great for my Canadian and US viewers to go and check that out. Anyways, back to this. I bought this for $7.99, which I kind of felt like may or may not be on the pricier end for Wet n Wild. The first time I actually encountered Wet n Wild was many years ago, back in high school, when I felt that Wet n Wild was the most affordable drugstore brand out there available. And I think I bought an eyeshadow palette, and that was like the first thing I've ever purchased in terms of makeup. And then of course since then I haven't touched base with it or, you know, go and try anything else until now, because I was like, you know what, it's a foundation. I read like maybe a few reviews on this, and you know, some people like it, some people don't, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pick it up and try it out myself, and of course let you guys know, you know, my thoughts and, you know, my first impression of this foundation itself. And because it's a drugstore brand, I felt it is still more affordable. I'm sure if you picked it up at a local drugstore, it might be slightly cheaper, you know, give and take a few dollars here and there kind of thing. So anyway, so I'm gonna test this one out with a brush on one side of my face and a wet beauty blender on the other side of my face, because I'm sure there's going to be like different types of coverage. It does claim it's like a second skin. It's really photo ready so that you don't get that white cast when taking photos. Anyhow, let me zoom in a little for you guys so you guys can see a bit more of my flaws on my face. So now that you guys are up close, I scratched myself last night, so there's like a little red dot here. I have some blemishes going on, and I broke out a little underneath my chin, so I'm hoping that this foundation would actually help me cover that up or something like that. I am slightly darker on my neck because of the fact that I've been out a lot, and of course with putting on foundation and sunscreen, so my skin tone right now is a little bit off. Hopefully this would actually help it out, and you know, yeah. Anyways, so the packaging of course is a glass and I believe there's an applicator in here. Oh yes. It's a plastic applicator. Ooh, it is really runny, I have to say. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna put it here. Okay. As you can tell, I put quite a bit all over my face, and I'm gonna use my wet beauty blender and blend it out. So far, I have to say, this shade actually may work for me. It is a more of a cool tone shade, which I'm not quite used to, I have to say, so we shall see. So this was just the first layer. As you can tell, it did cover up as much as it could as a first layer, and because I'm using a wet beauty blender, it does take off a little bit of product. I do have, of course, some blemishes here that I'd like to cover as well, so hopefully with a brush it might be a little different. I'm not quite sure if I'm liking this applicator that it comes with. I was hoping it was more like a doe foot, but it's actually a plastic applicator. So I'm going to go in with my brush and let's see how that goes. So this is how it looked like on this side of my skin. It looks like it may be a bit, this shade may be a little light for the summer for me. I'm sure it'll work a lot better in the winter time. Off camera, like in real life, it's not as bad. I can still see there's a bit of like a white cast because it's more of like a cool tone. But as you can tell, with one layer, it covered up as much as it can. And I'm actually gonna go in maybe with like a second layer to cover up, you know, just other flaws that I have on my face, such as, you know, this thing right here. Alright, so I just added a bit more foundation on certain areas that I want to cover instead of using a concealer, because I wanted to see how this foundation worked out. Is it actually buildable? Can I cover up some of my flaws? And as you can tell by far, it's pretty good actually. Like, I only added in like a little, like, it's kind of like spot conceal but with the foundation itself, and I think it did pretty well in terms of covering up what I want it to cover. So I'm gonna go about with my day. I'm gonna be checking in midway and of course at the end of the day to give you guys my thoughts and to show you guys, you know, how this foundation worked out throughout the day for me. And at the same time, I'm not gonna put any setting powder or blush, bronzer, because I don't want it to affect anything that's on my face with this foundation alone. And currently right now it is roughly 11 in the morning, so I'll probably check in around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and of course again towards the end of the day. Anyhow, I shall see you guys later. I am back for my midday update. Currently right now it is almost 3 in the afternoon. I pretty much went out, ran some errands, got myself some allergy pills because this morning my nose was really congested. I went to the bakery that I normally go to on the weekend, and I was really happy to hear from one of the people that were working there that my makeup was flawless, even though I'm not sure if he can actually tell that I'm using a different foundation. But it's always good to know and good to hear from, you know, someone that you're not too close with and you don't see every day, that all of a sudden your makeup is flawless. Well, I thank him so much. Anyways, let me give you guys a close-up of how my makeup, or sorry, how the foundation looks on me after a good like almost 4 hours. So now that we are up close, you can tell that I noticed that a little bit of the foundation kind of creased into my nose area. Everything else looks pretty good. It didn't look like it really budged. I really like how this foundation didn't oxidize, because when it oxidizes it does turn a little yellow or a different shade that it's supposed to be. So far it's good. I'm normally oily in my T-zone area, but I have yet to notice anything really seeping out. And aside from that, I have been rubbing my nose, so it has been a bit dried in this area, but so far so good. Anyways, I will check in again towards the end of the day and give you guys my final thoughts on this foundation. So I am back to give you guys my final thoughts and my final checkup, because it is already currently 7:08. So I've had on this foundation for a good 8 hours already, which is, you know, normal time, give and take a few more hours on certain days. Anyhow, let me zoom in and show you guys how this foundation looks on my face after 8 hours. So because of my allergies, I have been rubbing my nose quite often, so you guys can tell like the foundation did rub off, and I didn't do any touch-ups because I felt like, you know what, I'm only at home, so it's fine. And of course, you know, areas where I have dry patches, it totally accentuated. Same goes with up here. I noticed that I had some dry patches here as well, and it totally accentuated that. I do understand that this side of the face was applied on with a brush, and this side was applied on with a wet beauty blender, but in terms of coverage and, you know, how it worked, it looked pretty much the same, I would say. And of course, overall, you know, nothing really else budged on my face. Overall, this foundation right here is, I would say, not bad at all for the price point. It is $7.99 off the well.ca website. It does offer quite a few shades, so for someone like myself, I need a darker shade in the summer and a lighter shade in the wintertime. That's great, you know, it's affordable to, you know, purchase two and have it sit, you know, on my table whenever I need to use or have a full face of makeup or need some coverage. This foundation alone is more leaning towards, I guess, a light coverage, but it is buildable for a more so of a medium coverage, but it doesn't necessarily get to that point. So it's a between like light to medium coverage is what I feel. And at the same time, it is super lightweight. Like, I don't even realize that I have foundation on, so that's always a good thing. I wouldn't recommend it to people that have dried skin. This is more so for normal to possibly oily skin. So myself, who I have combination dry skin, that's why certain areas where I had dry patches, you notice that it did accentuate. And of course, it did kind of like stayed in, you know, my crease right here with my nose and anywhere in my laugh lines. I saw that the foundation did seep in. So aside from that, overall, I think it's not bad of a drugstore foundation from Wet n Wild. Like, I haven't seen any other ones that are comparable in the Wet n Wild brand. So I thought, you know what, it was a great opportunity to try it out. And of course, for it to be cruelty-free, that's hard to find too, right? So those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if so, remember to give me that thumbs up. I do try to upload 1 to 2 new videos each week, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel and turn on that little bell for your notifications. And I shall see you guys in my next one. Bye bye for now.